I call the October 7th, 2025 Committee of the Whole meeting of Glencoe Park District to order. Lisa, please call the roll and take note of time.
Okay, 7 PM. Commissioner Kobe,
Here.
Commissioner Reifman,
Here.
Commissioner Hazen,
Here.
Commissioner Guzman.
Here.
Excellent.
It does not look like we have any member of the public here to speak, but just want to double check.
That's correct.
Nope. Okay, so then we will move on. I would like to ask Anya and Matthew to start the discussion and presentation discussion of the beach house, the trellis and sun shelter preliminary designs. Thank you for joining us today.
Hello. You can hear fizzy drinks? Oh.
Yeah, if you, in all seriousness, if my mic is on and I'm typing something, you will hear that. It will get picked up. So I'm going to turn my mic off. Hey.
Your mic on?
Now it is.
Well, thank you again for having us. We met last, I believe, the beginning of July and talked a little bit about some of the ideas from the surveys for the beach improvement. In the beach house, the sun shelters, the trellis space. That's what we're going to focus on today. I'm going to recap some of the things that well, here's the schedule, the timeline. So we're actually where we got the red bubble right now. Kind of meeting number 2 is what we're planning for, which is late summer, early fall, public survey presentation of the concepts. You know, once we have that direction decided from your group and the public, then we can kind of move into the more detailed construction documents, getting the sets funds ready to bid it for construction to start in 26. This is a recap and some snapshots of the survey that was presented to the public. A little tough to read, but I think you've all seen it multiple times. Let's start with the trellis. We had some ideas for the trellis that was a combination of either a flat roof trellis or a gabled roof trellis. Both of them having kind of a strong design direction that could be had. By a slight margin, the winner was the gabled roof, but I think when we left the July meeting, this group asked, could we also see some studies with the flat roof? So you'll see that tonight. We have concepts for both. Because there was a fairly sizable group that preferred the flat roof. For the sun shelters, similar, we have 2 options to present. The preferred one was the traditional style, but behind that was rebuilding what exists today. So we have a slight take of what was there today in a slightly new design. There was a question asked about the privacy, and some of the concepts had more privacy between each of the sun shelters, and it was pretty preferred to keep it the way it is today. And so we were looking at some possible ways to provide a soft screening in between the shelters, and you'll see that. One of the questions that was almost a dead even heat was, what style of the boardwalk do you prefer? And it was almost a 50-50 between trying to replicate the flagstone that exists out there today or trying to match the recently done pier plank style in the concrete. When we left the last board meeting, that the preference seemed to be matching the plank style would be easier to match. Trying to match the flagstone would be tough, and we felt that if we weren't successful with a match, it would almost be worse than trying to kind of replicate what's out there. Do you want outdoor showers? That was an overwhelming support for outdoor shower space. So we've started to locate where those could be near the beach house. In the multi-purpose room, similar, very strong desire for multi-purpose space. We'll take a look at the direction that the interior planning of the beach house is coming along as well in this package too. And then the restroom style, whether the public wanted individual style or more of a group one, again, close, but the direction was the traditional kind of gang style, multi-user restrooms. And that's the direction we're going. It's a little easier to plan for that as well in that small of a building. So.
Okay, so we're getting into the design. This is the overall view of the entire beach. The section that we are talking about today, it is the South Beach side, so called the swimming beach. And what we are focusing on today is trellis design, beach house planning, and the sun shelters design. We also have generally in plans and this will come in the future. We're replanning the South and North Beach lockers, and we're in the process of it, and the boat storage, and the paddleboards and kayak storage. So this is coming next. This is not something we will be asking the public to vote on. So this will be presented at the next time. But trellis and sun shelters, this is something that we are looking for public opinion on it and a vote. So in comparison, the upper portion is the existing site plan. Trellis and sun shelters, when you look at the proposed one, they are trellises in identical spots because we're reusing the stone piers for it for the new one. Sun shelters are just maybe slightly nudged, but in the same spot, leaving the same distance in between them. When we go to the design, one thing to note, these are the elements from the beach. So the strongest elements that define the beach aesthetics and character are those big and smaller buildings here. So the beach house, the water plant, and a halfway house is in the same style. So these are structures that are building like. The existing trellis and sun shelters, they have the house elements or building elements like the stone piers, but everything else, we would call it like miscellaneous architecture, miscellaneous structures. This is not a building type. They are in the flavor and the character. So this is the close-up view of the existing trellis. And just a few things to note. Stone will get cleaned up, right? But the stone piers will stay as they're matching all the other stone around. The shelter itself, the structure on the top of the piers, it is deteriorating, of course, and that's one of the main reasons we are replacing it. It doesn't have a cover on it. It doesn't offer rain protection, and that's something that was desired. But also the comments that we received, it is looking a little dark, a little oppressive, a little low. So one of the design directions was also to look maybe just for something that provides more openness to it and it feels lighter. This one currently feels a little dark. Sun shelters, residents seem to really like them. They like the openness, the natural feel, how they blend in with the beach and the nature. So this was the direction, everybody was saying like we want them to feel the same way. From our observations, they right now are they're a little confined and, they have picnic table inside and they don't offer much elbow space. So that's just an observation. It wasn't the critique, this was the observation from us. We feel like they should be just more space to maneuver. And also in between them, you see there are grills that they're very close to each structure, and there is missing like the space in between with a little planter with some kind of privacy in between. The boardwalk is another thing that we decided, Park District decided definitely we need to replace it. It's falling apart. We're repairing this every year. For what we are looking at today, we'll walk you through. We have two very distinct options of each, like two very distinct sets, I would say, of trellis and sun shelters. And we also have a concept plan for the beach house itself. So we'll walk you through option 1 and option 2. Then we have few slides that compare them both. And at the end, we have the plan of the beach house. Option 1 aerial view. So this is the option where we took the top most voted options from the survey, meaning the sloped roof and very traditional sun shelters. As you can see from the top view, the roofs are matching, material is matching. We're thinking maybe metal roof on the top. We'll walk you through several views of each option. Now, since the existing beach house has very strong presence on the beach, so there is a couple ways of addressing that. One way is trying to mimic the style and architecture of it, pulling the same elements, pulling the historical elements and features from it. The other one is pulling from it more just the features that matter, but not necessarily the historical values and historical features of it. So, for example, like a color, like a tone of it, the feeling of it, the shape, etc. So in this traditional one, we're pulling more the architectural features. So the roof is sloped, and the slope is identical to the slope of the beach house roof over there. The roof covering, we are showing metal roof light colors. We have, when we study the style, we determined that this is a Spanish Revival style. Every time when you have wood structure right next to the building, Spanish Revival style, usually the colors and the tone, they match either the doors or the windows. So, like in our heads, at least in our heads, Spanish revivals, they usually have very dark beams, very dark doors, like this very heavy colors. However, the closer you get to the water, the colors lighten. So that's what we did over here. And, this kind of response to the comments that we received that the previous trellis was a little low, a little bit dark. So we took the lighter color, so the light beams and the light rafters, they're off-white. There's just like a little bit like a bleached tone wood stain here that is matching the beach house. And the underside of the structure is tongue and groove wood color. So this is taking the color and the cues from the clay tile roof without completely repeating it. So that's our way of addressing the beach house here. This is the view from the other side.
You'll see too, the other thing we did was elevate it slightly above the piers.
That's right.
Gives
Yes.
them a little more breathing room, and it kind of creates that floating feel to it.
Mhm.
What's the, is it a pipe? What's the material? for
It'll
that?
probably be a steel column, square shape that'll go
Mhm.
up, foot,
Yes.
foot and a half,
Yeah.
kind of raise it up.
There's a couple of ways of doing this, and one that we really like is just making this a different material. Otherwise, usually the beams lay straight down on the piers, like the existing trellis. And that was the way. It was just kind of like a mechanism that in this style they raised them up a little bit higher. In both options, we are showing fans inside. So this one has 3 fans, kind of like one in each bay in between the columns. This is the view a little bit further away from the beach, showing how this relates to the beach house. Currently, the top of the pier is about where the beach house roof starts. So we are raising our trellis a little bit, just slightly higher. Sun shelters. So with this, like I mentioned before, this is trying to be a set. So it has this cohesive look and just kind of creates the order. And this is not identical to the existing style. This is a traditional style. So when we repeat it more than once, or repeat it at least once, it becomes another aesthetic and blends in without competing with existing structures that are very, very specific here. So this is almost identical to what was presented in the survey. It doesn't have, of course, the fabric and doesn't have the double roof, but it is a solid roof cover, the same materials as the trellis. It has the posts. Generally, the shape and the size is very similar to what exists right now. One thing to note here is we took a little bit different approach to the private sections of the trellises and the small, tiny adjacent beach to it. So instead of two sun shelters sharing a common space in between, each one has its own. So the first shelter has this portion. Larger. There is a little bit of screening between the main boardwalk here that is a stamped concrete, the same look as the pier right now. The concrete is underneath the sun shelter, and there is a little bit like a small sidewalk sliver that takes people from the main boardwalk to the sun shelter. To the side of it, the private beach space, as we call it, this is sand. So there's grasses in the front, sand on the back, and grill on the back wall. Mhm. So I'm gonna click to the next one. Maybe this will be a little bit easier to see as we walk around it. We have a few more views to show. So, they can take them to the stand area. So this is just a small space.
Yeah, today, each sun shelter, if I'm correct, has bench on either side with
Yes.
it's actually, it's interesting because the sun shelter itself is sort of
Click to the.
up barricaded, but the sun shelter itself is sort of well, is
Mhm.
defined, right?
Right.
By the 2x4s. And if you want to use the grill, you walk out to the front, you're
Mhm.
basically making this sun shelter, and it has its own little private patio kind of,
Mhm.
which actually I think is a really nice
I like it.
feature. I actually think that turned out pretty impressively. I don't know if I love concrete there. But
I'm
I
a
do
little
like
nervous from a safety
Yeah,
stance
I
with
think- I
little
think kids
kids,
are-
but I like the
I think
layout.
kids will jump off of it. I think
Yeah.
people do stupid things.
The
The concrete knee wall.
Yeah, but
Yes,
I don't think we have to talk about that now. I
No.
think that the concept of
Yeah.
kind of giving you a sun shelter, it's like a sun shelter plus,
Yeah.
right? And that's
Right.
actually it's a really nice feature. I like the way it's drawn.
And I feel like people will use the space more. Right now, that space is a little unused. You can just grill.
Right.
I love how you guys made it so it's
Yeah.
reusable.
That's a good point. The space is unused except for the grill, and you're forced to do a U-turn
Yeah.
to get to
To
it.
get in and out. We
To get in and
felt
out.
the same way.
Mhm.
My
Yeah.
question is, how much seating is there at the table that comes built in?
So the shelters are more or less 12 by 12 or 13 by 13, somewhere in this range. So
It'd be same as now, right?
it's.
I think
it
our
would be
picnic
the same
tables-
as it is right now. It's L-shaped. Right now you have sitting along the two long sides.
Right.
Here, this is folded into an L,
I understand.
then we can just add.
And then you. can
I'm just
flip
saying,
over.
because people are going to dine, right? And they're going to bring their chairs and they'll be too low, too high, won't know to bring it.
So
So,
don't get hung up on today, the picnic table, the table. It's really, today we're trying to figure out the trellis
Yeah.
shape, so to.
Mhm.
Because you could have
It's
Gary,
picnic
you could
table.
have a bench.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
could
we
put a,
could
you
do a
could put a
regular
portable
picnic
bench
table.
there.
We could change that, so.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
But that's a good
That's a
point.
good
We'll,
point.
we'll
Yes.
put a pin in that one, because that's.
Honestly, what it does is in this view and does not the permanent view is it shifts it shifts
Yeah,
the
yeah,
thing to the side, which actually is
100%. Yeah, I know.
an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have a bench or something if
We felt
There's
like it
seating, that's
opens
all.
up more space.
It opens up more
And
space.
choice of space, basically. They're both private, both the sanded area and the concrete area, they're both private.
No, it's perfect.
And you look at the water, it's forcing people to look out at the view.
Yes, so we're going there. So this is the view looking towards the beach house. Again, the reference of the beach house is very, very strong. We just want to make sure it plays with it nicely. Also, two tones of the concrete here, just again,
Yeah.
separate people, like main traffic goes straight and everything past the line is private.
No.
They don't. Yes, not in the center shelters.
I think only one of the sun shelters today has electricity. I think just 5 has electricity today.
This is just a collage of pictures. This is the almost the last one
Yeah.
showing this option just to give you a feel from underneath. How does it feel if you're under? You know, are the colors good? Is the height correct? Does it feel
Yeah.
like you have a volume, air? How much of a view does it provide? Right? Like.
I
this kind of-
definitely, I didn't notice it from before, but I think, you said it, Nicole, you put an emphasis on looking out on the beach, which I think is the right way to do it.
Right.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah.
And we could always add another bench on the other side if that's what, if we,
Yeah.
Yeah.
a bench, if that's, instead of chairs, we could put a bench on that side.
Yeah,
Still
honestly,
the same
you
look.
could put a portable bench
But that's a good point.
right in front. And
Yeah.
this way, if people want to move it to the side and,
I
It's
don't know if we
actually-
could do, I don't know if we could do portable, because it would end up.
we should think
You'd-
about what the options are, but
Want
we
it
could throw in
anchored.
the lake, so it would have to be permanent, just to be honest with you. It would have to be permanent.
it's nice that people, it's much more handicap accessible now than it's
Yes.
ever been. You could have 2 or 3 wheelchairs there, which today you could only barely have one. So I kind of like that idea a lot. For strollers, for babies and things like that. It's definitely got some options.
This is the overall beach view elevation.
Yeah.
It's not really the real view, but this is, nobody ever is gonna look at this way, right?
Okay.
Unless you're in, on the water and pretty far away. But we just wanted to show you how the sun shelters, they disappear. They blend in with the nature.
Yeah.
The trellis is a little bit more visible because of the roof, right? It's a little bit stronger, but
But it doesn't compete with the beach
It-
house. That was the goal.
Yeah.
We wanted to make
it doesn't.
Is one of the shelters going to be larger? Is that,
Yeah, that's how it is now.
oh, it is it? Okay.
Yeah,
I
the
didn't
last one's larger, it's like.
I didn't
double.
realize that. Okay.
Yeah.
As far as for the roof and the colors will be fine tuned, right, later too?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, the colors can be fine tuned. Option number 2. So what you will see here, the layout and the site plan is identical, but the approach is completely different. The idea here is not to repeat the style that we see there, but more play up the features that were important and mentioned as something to either keep or look at. So, for example, for the trellis, we said there was an option that was not requested by us, determined that we're gonna try this one out. Flat option with operable trellis. Something that addresses the fact that, the existing trellis is a little bit low and feels a little bit dark. So again, we're reusing the colors that work with the beach house and the styles. The white portion in the middle, this is the operable portion. So currently, the center portion that's wood trellis has, that's the same footprint as this one. We are extending the shade a little bit further. It's like 5 or 6 feet further just to provide more shade as the sun goes around, right? So because if the sun moves, then the edges of the tables will get sun on them. So if the shelter is wider, that offers more shade. But it feels pretty light compared to the other one, and we do have comparisons of both options, so for you to look at them together. Again, it is raised, so we're showing this next to the beach house here. Mhm. Yes. Yes. The idea here is that they would automatically close. And I would like to say, again, just so we're clear, the center base, so
The
the
wider
white, the
center
white up, the
heading
white
between.
color.
Those are the ones that close.
There's a base that's, they need to play together and also we wanted to make, also it gives us, bless you, the opportunity to include wood or wood-like material that is just more natural, that plays up again with the colors of the beach house.
I have a question with the automatic. Is it by, like, if it senses wet, like from rain, is that when they just all of a sudden close down?
Yes.
Okay.
Or you can do it manually.
You can also say like, I want this close. It's
Okay.
just too bright for
Or we
us.
could- Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, yeah, that's not, yeah, not from iPhone or menu. That's not, further
It's
from the beach.
similar, in, get a little specific, but they also open too on very windy days too, because they kind of helps
The
from
flow.
creating, and from creating kind of a sail that it would. that day.
Yeah.
So
That makes
it is
sense.
definitely weather sensitive.
Okay.
Sound shelters. So this, again, we are working on them as a set with the trellis. We're bringing here the stone element. It doesn't have to be identical, but the same tone, the same feel, the same flavor over here. Backdrop for the sun shelters and also defining elements in between. The top, this is not operable trellis, right? Currently it's not operable. It is just a sunshade, but it brings this natural material that we are putting into the roof that again works with the colors of the clay tile and works with the trellis itself. Layout, identical, the same sand, the same concrete, the same grilling area over here. View next to the beach house or towards the beach house. View from underneath. We wanted to explore one option that is different, just to see how it feels, because we heard the comments about openness and the open feeling of the existing shelters, and we feel like the traditional ones, they close it off a little bit more. It feels a little bit more opaque, and we wanted to explore something that is just more open. And yes, it does not completely replicate what's out there, but it does provide the same kind of a features. And there's one bonus feature. We're moving the columns to the back, and now the beach view is open. You like that part of it, and it feels pretty light. It feels like it works with the existing architecture that is heavy stone and the stucco and heavy clay tiles, and it felt like it responds to it pretty well and actually complements it. Also, the materials will be a little bit more durable here because that is the metal and wood or wood-like fins over here. View from far away from the lake. The one thing to note here, like the trellis almost disappears here, right? It's so light. It appears as just a one single line, and the same with the roofs over here. Few slides to compare. Option 1, option 2 of the trellis. View from the distance. Please take a look at the openness and the size and the scale. and again, 1-2 traditional and more contemporary.
With the, I really like how those little poles are the lighter color in this one. I was wondering, like, I don't know why they're that darker color in the traditional. In the sun shelters, it looks fine. It's actually a nice contrast, but for the big one, I feel like, I don't know if that's an option to make it the lighter, like there, yeah, how
The
it-
little columns,
just those little
stubs.
additional like
Mhm.
posts.
Okay.
It's nice how that one has how it's all continuous
mhm.
in color.
It- Yes.
I like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It keeps it lighter, I think.
Yeah, that's an option. You
That's
know,
a small thing.
yes, we,
probably for
like
later.
we're
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
stay as true as possible to what we saw as examples, and this is how they did it. You know,
Okay.
they did like a dark rod, almost
I see.
steel here.
Okay.
Not sure if we have to stay
Yeah.
that
That's
close,
right.
but we're not right. I don't think nobody would judge us on we chose the wrong color here. So
You're welcome. Which, from the two options, which is the easiest to maintain? Or which could you foresee is going to cost us more to keep maintenance, keep it clean, kind of keep it up to whatever standard? Has more durability?
I think we spoke about this at the previous meeting, that the operable trellis does have mechanical parts, movable parts that do need to be maintained. And eventually motors would need to be replaced. But that sort of maintenance, I wouldn't necessarily consider to be so burdensome that it should make a major impact on a decision in terms of what we like from a aesthetic for the beach.
My historical phrase has been today's CapEx is tomorrow's OpEx. And so just need to think about that. Gary, what do you think?
Well, I know you talked about it, but can you clarify for me again, the more modern one, the one on the right, is it the roofs of the slats, they don't move, right? They just,
they don't. They don't.
so is it less shade then? It seems like it would be, or would it be,
It is more shade than there is today,
okay,
but less shade
okay,
than
okay.
one on the left.
So the trellises now, right, they don't have the cover.
They
So
open,
nobody cares really, right? They're on the beach. I mean,
Yes,
shade is good. I
okay.
mean, especially little kids. I mean, I was given the option, I guess I would take some shade. Right?
Personally take shade.
Yeah.
I didn't-
I mean, these are, right, like the,
See what the people want.
right, that's the good thing here is that we're not necessarily making this decision tonight. I think the good
Yeah,
thing here
which
is that
direction,
we're
okay.
probably limiting, we should bring it down to kind of maybe two options for the public to take a
yeah,
look at.
Yeah.
I'm less concerned about, personally, I'm less concerned about colors at this point because
Okay.
paint and time and other things we can do. I think the big question is going to be, do you like the full roof? Like do you like
For
the
me,
slats? Or do you think we have to go back to the drawing board? And I'm hoping the answer is
I kind
one of
of,
these
yeah,
two
no, yeah.
works.
Back to the drawing. I like elements of both. They're both very good. The one on the right strikes me as a little different style, mid-century versus
Yeah.
early 1920s, and that seems out of place. But I like that, the way there's openness and there's no posts. I guess it's not that much posts in the other one, but I like that better on that one. But the style strikes me as a little too modern looking or mid-century looking. It's funny, we have Frank Lloyd Wright all over the place here, and it sort of seems like in his style, if I'm right, but
Yeah.
but at the same time, but nothing else seems like nothing else seems like it. So to me, it seems out of place, the one on the right.
I think that the stone is designed to, I think, mimic the staircase up and down as
Yeah,
stone,
yeah.
and the building itself
Yeah.
has that sort of stone look. I guess the question would be, Gary, because I'm on your side here, I see what you're saying. This looks very 50s, 60s to me. It almost looks like Disney World, Tomorrowland when it was made and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
is there an option is there anything else that you could do besides the stone that would fit in more with this? Because I think top is so modern, the side is so,
Rustic.
yeah.
So Anya, would it be possible to wrap those posts or treat them similarly to the traditional shelter if the stone wall was not desired? Are those just simply posts that could be meant to look like the traditional
That's a
sun
difficult
shelter?
question to answer just like that.
Yeah.
It is, of course, it's possible to wrap it in another material. Um,
I mean, those are not
Yeah.
real stones, I presume. That's gonna be concrete, that's gonna be pressed to look like stone? Are those real stone?
we were thinking real.
A veneer?
You were.
Yes.
So it's not like
Yes.
the walkway down
No, it's
is,
not pattern.
yeah,
No,
these
no,
are real
it's not
stones.
the
Okay,
same.
got it. So,
Right.
An option, and I don't, maybe not, but in each of the options, they're all the same. But what if there was a little bit of a mix where you took of either side, maybe make one or two less covered or more covered? So like what I like about option 2 is it brings in a lot of light. Um, but at the same time, if rains or something happens, or, kind of to Nicole's point, people need shade, you want that option too.
Maybe, how would
like
it
it
look
looks-
if that long one at the end maybe was the slats? Maybe it would look bad from like the profiles, but I hear like,
I guess it's gonna sound bad, but like mix and match is like, is it possible to have one or two that's full shade and like one or two that's a little more open?
I think it's possible. I think the question is, do we want that? And that's always the challenge. So far in the many years I've been at the Park District, we are saddled with giving two good options. And we all, like even with Milton Park, like we were saddled with two good options. I think, you can put that up there to the community, say, hey, look, we like option 1, option 2, and then option 3 is a mix, and we can hear what they say. I'm not opposed to that. I don't, and remember, we don't have to necessarily
Yeah.
agree 100% with what the community says. We can bring it back, but I
I
think
just-
you'll probably see a tendency to be more consistent.
I'd like to see the more openness,
Yeah.
but less 1950s, 60s feel
So
in the second one.
is that what you're saying? You don't like the stonework?
I don't know
like
what
you
I don't know what it is. It feels out of place with everything else that they've designed.
Gary, I mean, I'm happy to put it out to the public. My first reaction seeing that one was, when thinking about it, it's not that that looks bad by itself, but when thinking about it with the beach house and the water treatment, I was like, oh no, that was just my first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here's the deal. We don't put anything out to the public that the board doesn't
right.
really like. What you
Right.
want is, you want to go out to the public with something like, okay, I like these two options. There's things that we didn't bring to you because we didn't like.
I
it.
see. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
bring you the best, and then,
Yeah.
so if you
Okay.
want to change, like, because we don't have to decide tonight, we don't have to start, if you want them to go back and, okay, we really like option 1 the way it is, okay? Option 2, can you give us a different look with that kind of
Mhm.
roof and get rid of the stone and see what
Yeah,
else you
you
could do?
keep
We just
the-
can't put on your spot right now to say, okay, this is what I would do, but we could bring it back, right? We're in no hurry. This is why we're doing this so early.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think the irony
Yes.
of calling it the sun shelter, and and then thinking about, is it really shelter? It's kind of funny to me, right?
Or is it sun? Like, there's
Yeah,
no
we've
sun
we've
in
called
that
them sun shelters for years, and now that I think about it, they're not, the trees are providing the only shelter
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
But I think they're good options, and I think probably going back to the drawing board on option 2 to figure out how can we have that kind of openness without the stone material. Is that right, Gary?
I don't
You
know.
like the roof?
I'm not going to decide which is the stone. The stone material
Yeah.
doesn't bother me. It's just the overall. It's the finish. The slats are. It strikes me as
Yeah.
It doesn't match the 1920s look of the
Yeah.
shelter. That's all I can tell you. I'm not going to tell you what the elements are wrong or not quite right.
Yeah, yeah. I would veer away from mid-century feel. I like the stone if it was,
Yeah, I don't mind the stone. It's not executed.
I understand. We
Yeah.
had the same comments internally. We
I
had
like
like
the
our.
level of creativity. It's really creative.
Really pretty.
Oh yeah,
Thank you.
that's great.
Thank
It's
you.
not for
You like the trellis, the big one.
The
Actually-
trellis big one, I'm
So
okay
that
with.
should
Yeah.
stay.
I'm okay with
That
it.
should stay in the
Yeah.
option 2. We're just gonna work on the shelter and option 2.
Is it, Gary, sorry, just to beat a dead horse. Is it both stones or is it the stone on the back wall? Like, are you okay with the stone? Because I was thinking like, you know what? I don't think I'm mind the stone holding it up on the,
The back?
Maybe
on the
put some
side?
On the
It's the-
side.
Yeah.
with them,
I mean, it's
Maybe-
all the elements are
giving-
together are not 1920s
Yeah,
Spanish. That's all I can tell you. Which ones are more or less? I'll let the designers, I think, they know best
Yeah,
which one it is, but all these together don't match.
Can I ask a question? So you have option one, you have the pole, the support beams, I guess is what you'd call them. It is, would you want that roof in option two with just the support beams on the four corners? Or would that look, I don't know. Or would that look weird? I guess we'd have to see it as an option.
it would, I would rather, the main difference is this one opens up the view. And I think that was just very strong element and the asymmetry of it. I think that's the thing. I completely see the stone and the mid-century. I see it. I know, we know it. We know it too. Maybe we pull the stone down. Again, I would like to test it out.
Oh, you go
first,
play
because
with it.
I may
Yeah.
see something and then I
Yeah.
may regret it.
On the stone though, just looking at it quickly, I know there's a lot of design left here. We could see, it looks like it takes away from the seating comfort as well.
Ah.
From the person sitting there, you could see that I wouldn't want to sit in that seat unless my back was bothering me. So, you know what I'm saying? So you can make it wider. Obviously, that might be getting ahead of us right now, but
That's the detail will definitely shift the seat away from the stone. So like it's.
yeah, obviously we're early on in this kid, but that's something I wanted to mention
Yes,
now.
yes, I know, but that's a good eye. So,
I, like Mike said, can you go back to that other image? For me, what sticks out in option two is I feel like it's like a rest area, as if I'm going long distance driving.
Okay.
I don't know how to
Go to
describe
some
it.
nice rest areas.
I went back and forth to New York.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yes, I know what you're saying.
Yes, you're hiking or you're out and there's like really.
Yeah,
good
yeah, I
areas
hear what
of
you're saying. Yeah,
rest.
you're right. Yeah,
That's kind of what.
yeah. It's close. It just needs a little tweaking. That's all.
yeah, it
It needs
doesn't.
to blend in more.
Anything else?
I'm going back to the trellis area. We have some orange in the flat roof. There's some orange, right, or something? Right? Is there somebody that brings in the orange in there? Yeah, right, the wood. That'd be great. I think can bring into the sun shelters.
like the terracotta.
Terracotta, yeah. I mean, I think that's really, that's what you see when you see white and you see terracotta. And I know you're not gonna put terracotta on top of those roofs, I don't think,
No.
but, no, okay, that's a no, okay. But, oh, yeah, that's true too, but in the sunshine, in the trellis, we do have the elements of that with the wood, right?
We have a wood underneath
Yeah.
that is.
It would be wonderful to incorporate that to me, bring all that together, and it also would bring the terracotta, which is the most dominant thing you see.
Here, I like
But-
option.
Yeah, I think they're both excellent. Yeah.
Terracotta,
Like-
it's actually cooler, but have that.
Do you need any more direction?
I think I understand.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I understand.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
These look
Yeah.
Nice job.
That's not the end.
Oh, we're not done.
Yes. It will be, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be quicker, but that's just, we have to go through 2 slides. Beach house planning. Existing beach house plan, this is how it looks right now. You enter in, there's a welcome desk in the front. There's men and women's restrooms on both sides, 4 toilets each, and 4 showers each. So this is the current situation. The survey made it clear, showers outside, so we understand that. There's a staff room over here, and there's utilities on the top right. And on the left-hand side, we have concessions, a smaller utility room. One thing to note, this utility room over here, it contains pretty big sanitary trap, sand trap, things like that. we are looking with our engineers at this and just to see if it's possible to move. In our new planning, we are accommodating at least the sanitary one here, just like keeping this in the same place so we don't have to go through extra expenses. This is our proposal for the beach house. You can look at this in a way in like a 3 sections: restroom section, staff section, and the multipurpose room. Each one, this is the proposal. This is like a little bit earlier stages. Things may shift a little bit, but it looks like this all will fit. So we'll have women's restroom, men's restroom, and family restroom here. We are showing one potential shower in there, just in case somebody may want to have like a more privacy to take a shower, right? Because all the showers are going outdoors right now. So there is 1, 2, 3 shower poles right next to the stone wall on the outside. We're saying potential shower because we just really need to look at these utilities and just like make sure everything fits. If it doesn't, then we'll provide more privacy and protection over the showers there. One of them outside. Staff area, this is the one in the blue, front desk with access to freezer and refrigerator on the side. This is on the left on the plan over here, and the staff room over there. Camp storage as another storage piece, which leaves us about, we show 875 square feet for the multipurpose room, which is about 40 people here. So that's the plan. This is not something we would put out for a public to vote, but we're looking for general approval of the approval on the general direction of the plan.
Jackie. Microphone, Jackie. Your microphone, please.
Thank you, sorry. So currently in like a space like that, are people allowed to bring food or like catering or anything of that nature down there?
Yes.
So
So if they rented out that multipurpose room, see the kitchenette, it'll be a long countertop and there's a sink in there. So they would be able to, yes, if they rented it out.
Right, okay, that's where I was going, was you probably need a small kitchen, something
It won't be
like,
a stove, that it would just
Right.
have to be catered, but there would be enough room for a kitchen, like like our rental rooms now. We just have a counter, people put their sternos and stuff like that on it. A potential if they rented both of them. Yeah.
That's really
Mhm.
great.
yeah.
Correct.
Their doors there?
Yeah, the doors are all there.
Yes.
The, Jackie, you took my question. Right now, the back half of the multi-purpose room is effectively a pretty good area to prep for catering
Mhm.
for those needs. You've got a bunch of freezers, a bunch of refrigerators. The areas that's my one concern is that I think if you want to continue to have, someone come down there and have good events, is that kitchenette all the way at the other end of the multi-purpose room kind of the right design for it? And it very well may be, but right now you're really well set up. I'm thinking of my own
So
kids' bat
right
mitzvah.
now,
right
it's
there.
actually set up for, it was set up, reason there was so much in there was for a concession operations,
Right.
not for catering.
Yeah,
So we would not be able to have enough, we would not be able to put 40 people in there if we made the kitchen any bigger. So we will have a refrigerator in the cab storage closet that would be available for renters to use, but also be available for lunches for camp and things like that. But we really, and the refrigerator freezer in that other side is actually for our concessions that
Right.
we're going to be selling out of the front desk. So the intent was not to have a caterer to come down and make the meal or store big things. They would deliver right before the event, set it up, and then take it away.
Yeah.
So
do you think that works?
Yeah, I think the number of events we have is not that many actually. So we probably have less than a dozen big rentals there this summer. So to
Yep.
develop the whole building around that is probably a little short-sighted. I think the extra flexibility we get with that multi-purpose space and benefit to the community. I'm thinking on a Saturday morning, instead of renting a sun shelter for a kid's birthday party, somebody might take that for 2 hours and it's a covered and It's a sheltered area. I could also see that being heavily used for our camps Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
For sure.
A rain location, staff trainings. I think it also could be a company wants to do a small training, that kind of use too. We would have to charge additional for the trellis. So if
Right.
you want to do the trellis and that, what we want to try to avoid is having very large gatherings down there. So like big weddings, because then it interrupts the actual flow of the beach. Trucks coming down, dropping off, table rentals.
Right.
That makes it very challenging
Look,
during the
if you,
season.
if we think it's in the best interest of the community to use that space a little bit differently than sort of my
Mhm.
original thought, I'm totally fine with that. I'm glad it was put into consideration because it did have a pretty substantial area. You did have some substantial freezers, refrigerators, and kind of a cooking prep area, which you're giving up. But that sounds like that's the intent, is to give up that,
Yeah.
to have a larger room that's used for, 40 events during the summer as opposed to 10.
And our day camp hasn't increased dramatically. We need a rain location. So a part of the thought is that over a full scale concession stand, the indoor space is so much better, and for training staff
Yeah,
and
your point is very valid. And internally, we had that
did.
discussion.
Good.
and- and-
I'm glad it was,
Yeah.
because Jackie and I were thinking the same thing, but
Beat it up.
we have these discussions at work too. It's better to make 300 people happy and 50 people sad than to make, 50 people happy. So I get it. It's just we don't have enough space to do everything we want to do.
One thing I noticed was a little different, I think the last time we talked was, I thought we were thinking about having one bathroom open.
so that
at
actually
night,
would
just
still, see that after hours
I
access.
do, that's the whole,
Yeah.
which you plan is having the family bathroom open or the
Yeah.
whole thing? Okay.
And if it's really, say it's after season like this year where it was 80 degrees, we could actually have the ability to leave the women's, men's and the family.
Okay.
So,
Right.
but this time of year, like when it's 60, people are still walking down there.
Yeah.
We could have the potential just to have the family and lock everything else up.
If we have that space to the left and it opens up where people might want to rent it, then wouldn't we keep the other side of the house also opened?
If it was being rented, we closed this building at a certain time. We don't keep it
Yeah.
open year round. We don't heat it.
Yeah.
So we would keep, if we do have a rental in that room, obviously we'd have the bathrooms open and that way to go through to the bathrooms. But this is,
And that was part of the planning to
Yeah.
your point, is where you can lock the main entrance, you can lock the after hours. And then when we have rentals, we have staff there on site. So you could have somebody, you could basically go from the multi-purpose space through to the bathrooms, the restrooms, and you could have that for your private event
Yeah.
if it was 9 o'clock at night.
I think ideally you'd put the restrooms closer to the multipurpose room, but I just don't think you have that.
I have that ability because of
Yeah.
utilities. Yeah.
Is there a desire, well, you just have, you deadbolt the janitor, the women's room, the utility room, the men's room, and just keep the other room open. I was trying to figure out if there's a way to have like Watts or a Weinberg where you have outside access to the bathroom, but I don't think there is.
Not without altering the outside, the look of the Saffron
Well-
House, which we did not want to do.
Yeah, you can't, where the toilet is, you can't add a door and sort of reconfigure the bathroom to have a door there.
Just you're saying,
Right,
to
where
avoid
the-
the corridor. you said.
Where it says potential shower, if
Mhm.
you were to move
No,
the,
you have just a
if
door.
that was to be a no potential shower, but there was a door to the exterior there,
Thought about
that would,
then you gotta rearrange the-
Totally messes with the
Totally messes with the
exterior.
exterior,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Right.
you've got those arch windows and
Right.
you would have to, yeah, it would look.
Janitor access door there, there's no, I'm looking at the other doors, how they open there from the, it would be, I feel like it would be better if it was open to the front desk space than just right there to that corridor. I
think
don't know if that's possible though.
I think you
know,
want it to
Nicole-
open up there because during the winter, when you can shut off the whole left side.
But we don't want the janitor to go in there either.
mean,
Okay.
No, we won't have it open in the winter. We were not going to,
Not
we're
in the
not going
winter,
to have
but-
that family open all winter. But what you do is after season, so if we have, say, a contractor come and clean the bathrooms
Yeah.
after
We
hours,
don't want to give him access.
You're right.
to the whole thing.
Okay.
I mean, it looks good. It's a big change.
Mhm.
I am interested to find out, we have no plumbing on the right side of the building, so I think you'll have to figure out how how that works, and I'd like to understand the cost of that, because you are really, that men's room, the women's room is effectively the same location, right? It's the men's room that's taking a jog all the way to the right.
Right.
But you're gonna have to have plumbing for the outdoor showers there anyway, so.
Exactly. So that was. that
You'll
was the
be
big-
running the pipes anyways.
Yeah, we know there's gonna be some expense there. We
Yeah.
just don't want to move it all the way over. As far as the
We,
And there's no
sanitary.
more private office than for the manager sits in back with the recovery couch, but I imagine you don't expect that to be used
Correct.
all that often.
Yeah, the manager actually should be with it more open with staff, so.
Okay.
I have a question.
well.
Underneath concession and storage are two white boxes. What do those white boxes?
Frozen refrigerator, freezer, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay,
Yep.
so. Need glasses.
Me too.
Yeah, it's
yeah, those
RE
spaces, yeah, it's the it's
REFR
for the
and
concession,
freezer.
for our
Okay.
small concessions that we offer.
So, but that
Okay.
freezer and refrigerator will not be available till the multi.
No, that's for the concession area. So we sell ice cream, soda, things like that. That's what that would be for.
And they're intentionally hidden so that you're not seeing, when you walk in, you're seeing a more clean line. You're not seeing, soda and potato chips and things like that.
We want to hide it, hide
Yeah.
that look.
And I guess this is, I'm going back to you and I are, there is no way to add a fridge freezer on the other side in the kitchenette?
You would lose seating. So we're at 40 and that was our desire, just have
And
40
the
people in there.
the windows are detrimental, right? You don't want to put a fridge in front of a window.
No.
I think you and I are just like two peas in a pod tonight. I thought about the same
Over
thing.
time, like if we felt like we needed another freezer that's accessible to the multipurpose room or something, there is that whole space, camp storage. I don't know what's envisioned all there, but
Yeah.
if we needed a freezer, we could add one there or no?
Again, we wouldn't recommend it. We need all that. We're really tight on storage. If you look at, there's not a lot of storage.
Yeah.
And so we do need storage for camp and aquatics and things like that. So
Foods, all food stuffs, or is it like other?
no, it's
storage
up.
too?
It's
Okay,
programming.
Okay,
Yeah, programming stuff.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't envision people bringing,
Tons of food.
well, to store there for
Yeah.
long terms. That's not the intent of it. If you have a 3-hour party, you're bringing in your food, caterers bringing it down.
Traditionally, what we find people using it is for some drinks and things like that, which you can use coolers, but really cake. Cake is the one that everybody always wants to drop off ahead of time. Occasionally, when you get the bigger mitzvahs, then there is a higher requirement, but those tend to be the exception rather than the rule.
I mean, I think you guys put a lot of thought into this.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, nothing here is like a wow, oh my God, this is great. It's more like, this is the space that we have and this is how we make the most of it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where my feeling is on this, but
It's
it's utilitarian, right?
That's exactly it. How do we use the space to best of its ability, keeping in mind all the uses of this building, which are camps and training and rentals. Is actually a very small portion of what we really use this for.
I'm excited about this for the camps. I think this is going to be a big value add for kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I think staff was willing to, you'll notice those offices are smaller and the space is smaller. I think the benefit to the community, that multi-purpose space, we're gonna wonder how we did it before we had that. So that's a huge win.
Anything else? Okay, great.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Well, thank you very much. For the agenda, we're going to move on to the tax levy discussion. Director Kutera will present information and lead the discussion on this year's tax levy and answer any questions.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you, Commissioner Covey. Good evening, everyone. So hopefully we've all had an opportunity to review the memo that was in tonight's board packet discussing the levy for 2025, which will cover our fiscal year 2026 and 2027. So we're ultimately recommending an operating levy of $5,920,000, which is 5.88% more than the 2024 extension. It's important to note, though, that although we're levying for 5.88%, that's not necessarily what we're going to receive, and that's due to the property tax extension limitation law commonly referred to as PTEL. So PTEL limits our ability to increase our levy by the lesser of 5% or CPI, which for the 2025 levy is at 2.9%. It's measured as of December 31st, the most recent December 31st. So it's measured as of December 31, 2024. So in reviewing our previous 4 levy years, our average actual levy, so that's our ask, that's been about 5.63%, whereas our actual increases have been around 4%. So that's about a 1.63% cushion that we've built in prior years to make sure that we're collecting on all new property that's available for that given levy year. This year, we want to make sure that we levy enough to ensure that the Forest Edge subdivision and any other new development is fully included. So that cushion is closer to 3%, again, 5.88 versus the 2.9% in CPI. So maximizing our levy to the extent of CPI and capturing new property is important because it helps us offset our rising operating costs. So utilities, insurance, wages, and of course, it helps to support our ongoing master plan and capital improvement funding. Also want to just point out, when you review the levy by fund in the packet, you'll notice that we're increasing our special recreation levy and our liability fund levy, each to the tune of $100,000. So this funding is going to be used to help carry out some of our ADA, some of the ADA components of our upcoming major capital projects. And the liability fund levy increase will help to fund security upgrades here at the Takeoff Center. So next steps in this process would be we'd obviously discuss the proposed levy tonight and ultimately hold what's referred to as a truth and taxation hearing, which would be held in November at the November board meeting. We would adopt the truth and taxation resolution at the October meeting. So on October 21st, we would be looking for adoption of that. And again, we would hold that hearing at the November board meeting. And ultimately, we need to legally file our levy ordinance with Cook County by the last Tuesday in December, which falls on December 30th of this year. With that, I'd be happy to take any questions or address any comments.
Not necessarily a question, but just commenting for the benefit of the group that we did meet in detail to discuss. I got a pretty good understanding of the logic, the rationale. So thank you very much. I think in our discussion, something that stood out for me was that when we think of these funds, this is, as you mentioned at the very tail end, the ADA and the special fund. So even if we didn't have an increase of any kind, we would then be impacting possibly some of the services that we're providing, which we don't want to do.
Correct.
And I think it's really important that we understand that while this might look like it is a jump, you also brought up in that specific meeting that the effective rate is actually a bit lower than the 5.88%.
Yeah, so if we pull up page PDF page 9 of tonight's packet, we see the breakout by fund. And Commissioner Guzman, you are correct about that. So the 5.88 really only applies to our operating funds, which is what the truth and taxation measures. Beyond that, it's our debt service funds, which is pretty much a set levy. We don't need to levy for our debt service every year because the county has our repayment schedules and they just will tax based on what the necessary debt service is for that upcoming year. So it turns out this year that with the referendum, we were planning on having, we made assumptions on the new bonds that we were going to issue in, say, June of 2024. And ultimately when we got to bond issuance time toward the end of calendar year 2024, we had entered a more favorable bond market, which actually resulted in our intent was to just carry the debt forward, not have any increase with the issuance of the new debt. But the results of the favorable bond market, the fact that we went through a competitive sale and we're a AAA, bond, AAA rated agency. So a little bit of risk in going with the competitive sale, but it really paid off for us in the results of our bond sale and ultimately yielded lower debt service requirements for the district with the new bonds, which carries forward to the taxpayers. So you see that in the bottom row on page 11. Essentially, we go, the truth in taxation percentage is 5.88%. The overall increase is at 1.9%. I will point out, to really have an apples to apples comparison, you would exclude that levy adjustment of $92,000. So the true net increase is about 3.25% when you factor in the proportion of debt service to our overall levy. And again, the fact that we had the favorable bond results.
Yeah, this is happy to pass that finance treasurer hat over to you. And I was able to attend most of the meeting that you had with with John. We're back into the world of less than 5% CPI, which is nice. And I think it's helpful for the taxpayers. And quite frankly, it's also helpful for us. We're not seeing expenses rise quite as quickly. Historically, when you saw things rise pretty quickly, we took that into consideration with salary increases as well. And those, once they're in there, they're sort of baked in. But I think we're in a good spot. And I think historically, John, correct me if I'm wrong, we have always had a truth in taxation meeting.
Yeah,
Always.
in the spirit of transparency, the district always will hold a truth in taxation hearing regardless of the increase.
And I cannot recall a single person coming in and doing this, although we do how do we publicly notify people about this?
So it's in the newspaper. The
Yep.
legal requirement is that it's published in the local newspaper
Yep.
no more than 14 and no less than 7 days before the hearing. And we also have it prominently placed on our website for a 30-day period. So our hope is that with the passage of the truth and taxation resolution on the 21st, we'll have that posted on the website on October 22nd.
So these have been put out to the public in a newspaper on our website, historically there. And as Lisa always says, Park District taxes are 7% of your overall tax bill, but 100% of your fund. And historically, I think the community has been very, despite the other 93% of your tax bill that is not going to your Park District, I think the community has been very appreciative of the efforts made by this board to continue to invest wisely, financially, with a AAA rating, and do the things that we need to do, especially given the fact that we just did the referendum that I think you are aware of, which did not add tax impact to the debt servicing levels. So, thank you. I'm good with this. I don't know if anyone else has any other
I'm good with it.
thoughts.
I'm
Okay.
fine.
Thank you, John.
Jen?
Thank you.
Okay. The board members will adjourn into closed session to continue discussions on the appointment of a new commissioner to fill the vacant position. So I would recommend the board will now enter into closed session at 8:10 p.m. where no action will be taken. I entertain a motion that pursuant to Section 5 ILCS 120/2 of the Open Meetings Act, the board will enter into closed session to discuss the filling of the filling of the public office vacancy by Section 2.065 ILCS 120/2 C3. Those present during the executive session will be all the commissioners and only the commissioners.
Oh, wait, don't do that yet. We have to start this and leave. You guys are all excused?
Don't we have to do this?
Yep.
The so moved to, we
Oh,
haven't.
yes, you have to do that.
So
So
I
go
need
ahead and do that.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Gary. Any discussion?
Good to go.
Okay. I entertain a motion to adjourn the closed session at 8:30.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call vote, please. Yes.
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 Second.
Perfect. Let's have discussion of, you switch tapes?
Yep, you have to enter back in.
Okay, I enter a motion to go back into
Yeah.
open session.
I didn't say that here. Okay, yes, that's what you do.
I have a motion to go into open session, back to open session.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote or discussion? Roll call vote,
Mr. Bowden,
yes.
Mr. Whitman,
Yes.
Mr. Hazen,
Yes.
Mr. Guzman.
Yes.
Okay, let's have the discussion of officers, planning commission representatives, advisory group chairs resulting from the resignation of Commissioner Spain. I'm going to lead a discussion for the other representatives that will fill the roles due to Carol's departure.
Okay, so we need president and we need planning commission first. And if the president was in another role, then we need whatever that role is, so.
So
And
right
you can
now,
Take official action on.
at the board meeting, this is
Oh,
just
okay.
consensus, right?
consent.
It's consensus.
gotcha.
Can
Thank
we
you.
start with, we have two roles then effectively, Lisa. Do we have childhood?
Let's start with president. and go
Start with
from there.
president.
Okay.
Okay. Can I nominate myself?
You can.
I'm gonna nominate myself.
I second.
Right
There we
there.
go.
All in favor?
In favor.
In
In
favor.
favor.
You'll do official vote, but.
Okay.
We'll do an official vote.
All right.
Okay, okay, then we need a vice president.
Any nominations? I can nominate. I was gonna call her Betty again, like for the 8th time today. Cole,
Well, they look
'Cause, like,
alike.
My daughter.
because they're like,
The one who's
Uh-huh.
dressed weird.
I nominate Nicole.
Second.
You don't have to really do a second, but is there consensus?
Consensus?
I'm fine with that.
Cool, all right.
And then we still maintain our treasurer.
We still maintain, so everything else is.
Not
what
letting
we
that
say.
go.
Not letting that go. We have a finance treasurer. Okay.
Planning commission?
Planning commission. Is there anyone here that is interested in the planning commission?
Can we talk a little bit? What does that entail?
Yeah,
Sure. They're, I'm not even sure what night of the week they are. They're usually
it's Thursdays.
Thursday nights. Once a month or once every other month, I believe. They're usually a little longer meeting, like 2 to 3 hours. And you sit, with other representatives from school district, library, village, and I think there's at-large members, and they decide issues of the village as far as zoning and things like that, I believe.
So we are,
You'll get all the details on that.
yes,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's in relation, is representing Glencoe Park District.
Yeah,
Correct.
just the park district, those things. So it would be anything that, you would put up, any, thing you're worried about with park.
Gary, I'd be curious of the three of like lakefront planning, ELC, is there one that like interests you?
Well, Michael, you're going to stick with your ELC?
So I
That's
think,
been your baby for a long time.
I would love to shed that, but, I want to make sure the work is evenly distributed. So, we have, who's on Weinberg right now?
Oh, and Weinberg.
You're Weinberg?
No.
Oh, Weinberg's dissolved?
We dissolved.
So we just have children's,
We just have Lakefront PLC planning commission. Yeah.
who's on Lakefront?
I am right now.
Congratulations.
But I'm also open, that's why, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
open
happy
here.
to do whatever.
Lakefront, children's, and
And then
Planning.
whoever you chose to replace would
Okay.
also take one of those.
yeah, I mean, I think I can stay on children's for a little bit more for the continuity as
Okay.
well, because that's a little bit of we're actually kind of
We're
trending in the
over-
right direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it would be, I'll keep that one. And then either Meg, Jackie, or Gary, anyone interested in the planning commission?
I mean, my only concern about that one is just Carol had indicated it's a lot of time. She said a lot of nights, a lot of time, and I don't know what that means. You know what I mean? And originally, when wanted to be a park commissioner, it never really dawned on me that I'd be on the planning commission and spending lots of nights doing things that are not park related. So I'm a little challenged by
It is very time consuming from what Carol said.
Wait, so
I
how
don't-
much time? Because that one is something where it interests me.
yeah.
I don't know I don't know about how much, I don't know about the
I
time
think,
part.
I think it depends what's going on. Sometimes they have meetings, some they don't. When they do meet, it's usually 3 to 3 hours. Minimum. We usually go a little long.
Yeah,
I would say it's no more than once a month.
okay.
I just think that, because I think they do a lot of other meetings outside the meeting. That's what I
Oh,
kind of,
okay.
that's what I think she indicated. Wish, we went to check
I
in with
did not
Carol.
hear that.
Maybe I misunderstood her. There's a lot of time wouldn't be one night a week, 3 hours. That wouldn't have, one night a month. I know. Thank you. Yeah. I'm not opposed to it. I just want to know what I'm,
Yeah, getting
you know,
into it.
I have, other things going on. So, so I just, I mean, are we required to?
Meets on as needed basis, typically on the fourth Wednesday of the month, at 7 PM.
Wednesday. I can't do Wednesday.
Can't do Wednesday, so it's usually it's Wednesday.
From what time?
Thing they've worked on is the downtown plan, comprehensive
Maybe
plan,
we
which I
check
believe is
with
done.
Meg. Wednesday is
I-
I have front loaded all my kids' activities to Wednesday night so that I could be free this night.
I could do planning.
Why don't we?
Well, you're
why don't we-
treasurer.
Look,
Yeah,
why
I
don't
am
we
treasurer.
table this one? I agree. Let's let the new commissioner have an option to do it.
Oh. yeah.
And we've got 2 of these 3 covered already, so I think that's good. And then we can,
That's
Can,
what,
can you reach out to Carol and just get a better scoop of what really was involved?
I have texted Carol twice and she has not responded. So
Okay.
my
All right.
hunch is that she is living her new life and she's on her way and
it's middle night when we're in the
Yeah,
day.
I-
so-
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, that's why she hasn't responded.
Well,
But she's
there
got
you go.
iMessage. It's 2025. So
You know what, I could, let me call the village. I'll talk to Phil to see really what the commitment is.
Yeah. But maybe
everybody.
Gary, right of first refusal, like maybe we find out more time.
Sure.
You-
Sure.
Such a
Yeah.
lawyer term.
let's, I don't think we've gone a few weeks without representation there anyway. So let's see
Yeah.
how this goes and we'll move on.
That's a must do, we're saying though, right?
I'm sorry?
Being on the commission's a must
Yes,
do?
we have to answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And you,
Gross.
we,
Different talk to our workshop.
Yeah.
yeah,
All right.
so, okay.
Okay. I can do
Well,
it.
thank you, Lisa. Is there any other business out there?
The only one is that I leave vacation tomorrow morning.
Oh.
So I'll be gone from tomorrow until the day before, the board meeting, next board meeting, the 20th. So Bobby will be acting in my absence. So if you have any emergencies or anything,
Sorry, the board meeting's on the 21st,
the
right?
21st, sorry.
Okay, don't,
I think I come back the 20th, so I'll be back to work. on the
Yes.
21st. Hopefully I can take off.
I have a-
I'm not saying.
And I have a dumb question.
Yes.
Just, is the policy like you're on vacation, like no emails, no nothing?
No, I actually am always available via cell phone. What I don't do is I don't check the email unless you
Oh, you too.
text me to.
Okay.
So if you say, hey, can you look at this email? I try to shut down, but I do look at my,
you guys,
I
can-
do have international on my phone, so you can text me anytime. So if there's an emergency that you want to look me in,
and you can,
look at this email, I'll absolutely do that.
I am in the country until the 23rd when I'm out. So
Yeah.
you and I will.
Yeah.
Well, we won't be ships passing the wind, but
But
but just let me know if there's an emergency or something and,
Okay.
and we can.
I just wasn't sure what the policy
Yeah,
was.
that's kind of the policy.
No, it's good.
Unless I can't be reached, and there's cellular service everywhere, so I can always.
Yeah.
And you leave on the 23rd, Michael? Or is that what you said? You leave on the 23rd?
Party on the 24th, is what you said, right?
Yeah, there's a party at your house.
Oh, no, the park district.
See, this is the kids' table over
For the
here.
next 12 days.
Okay. Well, perfect. So then I would recommend a motion to adjourn.
Second,
And a motion to adjourn.
second,
So move.
so moved. Second.
Okay, roll call vote, Lisa.
We're gonna get that.
I never,
Oh, all approved.
Yeah,
Aye.
aye,
Time is 8:40.
so close, yeah.
you botched
Hey.
that one up too.